lite bläck och en penna. Jag vill rekommendera ett brev. Du skall alltid få se och besinna att jag håller ingen kärare än dig. Första helvetet ränna så som is. Första muren bort tapa sitt sken. Första skogen blev förvandlad till en duva. Innan jag dig min ben överger. Första helvetet ränna så som is. Första muren bort tapa sitt sken. Första skogen blev förvandlad till en duva. Innan jag dig min ben överger.
Good evening and welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, or Shoot Test, which I have constructed by the sea and am now trying to keep the water in it or out of it or something like that. Give me a moment while I finish setting things up because I haven't quite got things right yet, and then I will actually start talking. Because in particular there's a bunch of stuff that turned up on IRC while I was away. Blah, blah, blah. No, Pink Beast, that is a genuine umlaut. Well, it's not very, it's a, yes, I think Bleck is Swedish for ink, as I recall. So probably it is actually cognate with English black, but it is nonetheless nonetheless, I think it is a genuine umlaut and not a gratuitous heavy metal umlaut. Right, I'm afraid I have been talking quite a lot today, and so my throat is not in the best of states. So I may cough occasionally. We will see. Right. So yes, where were we? We had set up a system for teaching dwarves how to swim, and it had two significant problems. Well, basically it was short on capacity in two different ways. First, the dwarves didn't spend very long in the water before the system pushed them back out of the water, and this was unfortunate in that it meant that they spent a lot of time faffing for relatively little time actually learning how to swim. And second, where it could only cope with one dwarf at a time, and as soon as we had two dwarves or 3 dwarves trying to go round it in minecarts. They collided and unhappiness ensued. I didn't see quite how they collided, but I have plenty of ideas. Yes, sorry, if I hadn't mentioned, the system taught dwarves to swim by sending minecarts through appropriately deep water with dwarves riding on them, which is apparently enough to teach a dwarf to swim. So, that I have drained the water from the system in order to be able to recover the minecarts that had got lost, and some other rubbish that had got stuck in the water as well. Indeed, now I think one thing I can do is to release the dwarf that was operating that pump, because that's no longer required, and they can go off and get themselves a drink, if like they actually want to. Yes, there they go. So I had also been attempting to drain the water from various bits of river in order to extract the various dead dwarf and goblin bodies from them, and this has been quite successful. One of the consequences of that is I've actually had to set myself up a reasonably well populated necropolis for storing all of the dwarves we have thus pulled out of the river, or rather sucked out of the river, I suppose. So the general structure of those systems was that there would be a vertical channel with a floor hatch at the top and a grate 1 floor below it, so with the floor hatch controlled by a lever elsewhere, so that we could temporarily let water down through the grate and filter out stuff from the water as it was swept down. Clearly we haven't quite managed to capture everything, because there's a bunch of spare armour here as well, which I wonder if I can get at by some means, by essentially, I suppose, doing the same thing on this side that I did on that side. So there's another problem with this drainage system, though, which is exemplified here by the dead baby and pile of other rubbish, which is that this section is either in or 1 floor below an aquifer layer, and the fact that it has conglomerate walls makes me suggest this may actually be an aquifer layer, and that means that water continuously seeps, well, a bit more than seeps really, through, well, what did seep through this wall is probably still seeping through that wall and pours down from the layer above as well. And this means that this is quite a dangerous section of walkway, because occasionally it will build up to 2/7 of water and then push things off the edge. I think what this means is that I made a mistake in setting up the drainage system in a layer that still had aquifers, and I need to go deeper. So my aim now, I think, with the drainage system is to go downwards and try to find a layer below all the aquifers, and then dig some new drains down there and extend the pump stack down to that, which is kind of mildly faffy but should be helpful. I don't know how deep we'll have to go, but I don't think we have very many we can have very many more layers of aquifer. Like, the aquifers seem to be at different layers in different biomes. So there's a peat-based aquifer up here in the Badlands biome, and apparently a conglomerate-based aquifer that we saw the highest bit of here, but it clearly extends quite some way. Steph asks, what is the lowest you can go? To which Seb replies, hell. Yes, so if I press the down button, the map currently extends down to 129, well, actually 128 for reasons, levels below ground. We've descended as far as 10 because, frankly, it doesn't seem necessary in this version to go much deeper. So currently I'm kind of experimenting with actually a fairly shallow fortress in I think this is not so much this version as the set of defaults that this version gives you for world generation is very mineral heavy, very ore heavy, so you don't have to go nearly as deep to find resources. Historically, I would have expected to have to be at the caverns by now in order to be able to have enough resources to run a fortress this big, but we just don't need to, so I'm having fun in the shallows, as it were. So yes, I think what I want to do is to dig some deeper drains and then essentially drain this level into those, filtering out the dead babies along the way, so that this level will essentially be fairly safe, because if you're walking along here and get swept off, you end up in a dry ditch, or a fairly dry ditch, rather than drowned. Excuse me, my throat is going. Right, so I think for that, what I want to do is to set miners just digging a staircase downwards here a few levels. Just only go a few levels down, because obviously this level is no use. This level is probably no use, because I reckon because given this one has conglomerate in it, it's probably still drained into. We want. I think the simplest thing will be to go to the second level we find of non-aquifer capable stone. Yes. Moria, wonder of the northern world. Too deep we delved there and woke the nameless fear. But if we waited for the next version of Dwarf Fortress, we needn't have bothered. Yes, this child was definitely a duffer. Right. At some point also, I want to drain enough of the sea to get these two out. That's going to be fun. So we have a small bit of mining down there. I think now what I want to do is to take these tracks and extend them way out to the west, add at least one extra set of rollers to give the minecarts a lot longer down here. So that suggests a probably slightly lower priority mining job that simply extend this lot westwards by quite a lot. I mean, we could try to go all the way out to the other river. It'll be quick. It's all right. May or may not all be soil. We'll see what we find. Like that would need several sets of new windmills, but shouldn't be too expensive. It'll mean we can have much more fine control over the depth of the water as well. So, yes. There was another thing, wasn't there? Yes, we have a food problem, but not the food problem I had earlier. We have a food problem in that we have too much of it. In that, I mean, we've got 2,500, which is clearly enough. But in particular, this prepared food stockpile appears to be more or less full. This ingredient stockpile, which supplies the prepared food stockpile, which supplies the kitchen, is fairly full. Yes, we had giant Kias, but they've cleared off. I think. Let us select other. Yes, we have giant cardinals at the moment, which are much less irritating. And if we look in the kitchen, it's full of rotten food. And if we look in the fishery, it's full of rotten fish. At least it's got some rotten fish in it. So I think I need to, at the very least, stop the fishing. So let's set fishing to nobody does this. At least for a little while, until the quantity of food we have. Yes, we haven't invented tinning. This is also why all of the egg nest boxes are full of eggs, because there's nowhere to put the eggs. This may also be causing some confusion in the mead production facilities, but I don't think so, because I think those use a different set of stockpiles. The screw press in particular doesn't appear to be accumulating either oil or honey. So, and we have production, I set up production of jugs in order to allow us to produce more mead, because we do have a bit of a problem there. Actually, I should set, well, I did buy some fruit, so I should do a quick make everything we possibly can from any plants we bought job, because turning food into booze is obviously a good plan given we have no food storage left. Right, so let's unpause so that some time can pass. Oh yes, I was going to adjust one thing, which was, I think we're going to need lots of rock blocks if we're going to build all of those tracks. Is it worth... No, actually, they're getting scheduled on both masons' workshops. Let's just let them happen. So, right, someone is going to start digging this staircase eventually. Oh, and I noticed that I haven't built a bridge over here, which means that getting things from this side to this side is unnecessarily complicated. There should be some floor there. In particular, because I think one of these staircases actually connects up to the fortress and the other doesn't. Right, so, and that's now got cancelled because it's damp, right? No, we want you to dig through the damp stone. I know this layer is... I'm going to have to pay some attention to that, but I think a lot of that is food weirdness. So yes, that's currently damp rough-hewn conglomerate. Right, here comes a miner again, and they will probably be unable to get any deeper. But I thought that was a miner coming down to, like, actually mine a thing. Where have they gone? Oh, they built the bridge instead. Right, so now it's possible to actually get across the path there. And you can see here we get little twos occasionally as water comes in. And if you happen to be in the way of that two, you might find your ankles swept off into the drains, which would be unhelpful. Yes, my miners are busy finding a phenomenal amount of gypsum, as it turns out. And thus getting distracted from... Oh, I'd marked that at the wrong priority, of course. That's where I went wrong. Let's remark that staircase at a slightly higher priority than all that gypsum upstairs. I've struck grey chalcedony, have I? Ooh, that's nice. Right, let's start converting these blocks into tracks if we can. Let's not connect them to the existing ones just in case. Is it BNK? Okay. We'll worry about the corners later. Did I have enough to do a third one? Yes, as long as I don't mind making my railway out of cinnabar. Because, like, we're going to need... quite a bit of quite a quantity of rock blocks down there. Right, someone is now eventually going to come down here and okay, a cat has come down here. Yes, people keep getting into fights because someone is not a very good gelder yet. What does the king want? The king would like me to make a couple of querns. Okay, if you insist. Like, we only really need one quern. Aha, that layer's siltstone, and siltstone will not support an aquifer. So I think we go down to that layer and start building the upper part of the drains there. That way, yeah, there's quite a bit of water down here, but that's leaking in from elsewhere. Indeed, maybe we should stick a hatch cover on here just to stop water coming down that staircase too much. So let's see, we probably want it to be directly under there, which is annoyingly, I suppose it's not very annoying if it's offset a bit to the side. If we do that, okay, no, that's not actually what I wanted. Or is it? Let's do that for now. Give ourselves a bit of space. Oh dear, is that the child who's permanently unhappy because they once experienced sunlight? Of course, I've closed the message, which had the name in. Stethig obok thosbut. Sorry, Stinthed obok thosbut. Yes. Is in a meeting and throwing a tantrum. Is 3 years old, and yes, despite enjoying learning about surgery, is still unhappy. Yes, we may need to start digging down here quite soon, or we're going to start getting too much water to be able to dig through. Indeed, they may already think there's too much water to dig through down here. Like, we haven't managed to install this floor hatch fast enough. Does that mean we're going to need to dig? No, I don't want to dig it the layer above. Right. Am I going to have to? Maybe I dig down that staircase somewhere else a little more cautiously. Like, can I stick a floor hatch in and then dig past it, I wonder? Probably not. So what I'm trying to work out here is how I safely dig down here in a way that isn't going to leave me with a flooded square at the bottom rather rapidly. Maybe I just do it again, but this time a little more expeditiously once we're one level down. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That would be a terrible idea. It was kind of critical that you that first staircase was a reasonable way away from all of the other things. Or maybe I go, idiot boy, go down somewhere where there isn't an aquifer and then go across to the aquifer. That will be fine. Yes, possibly some kind of a siphon would work. But I think if I just go down over here where there isn't an aquifer, water will not come pouring down. And then we can dig across to where the aquifer, where we're below the aquifer. Now that we've found where the edge of the aquifer is, I think that will work fine. So if we start here and dig down to there, that should not get wet at all. Some bits of the tracker, I think, of the newly laid minecart track are, I think, causing some trouble. It looks like we're finally getting out of that gypsum cluster. Mine those gems while they're there. The water pot will be back, don't worry. Oops. Yes, it looks like some of these have got suspended because there's lumps of stone on them which someone needs to remove. Here comes someone who is carrying a small child just to make me even more scared that they're going to fall into the water. Right, they're safely past the wet bit. Right, and we're in nice solid siltstone, or at least mixed siltstone and brown jasper. So now I think, even though that's a bit wet, we could safely dig across to here. No, let's choose the correct mode. And we won't have any cancellations because it's wet, and we won't otherwise end up tangled up with things, with water. Oops. Okay, we don't have many. We're not making blocks as fast as we need them. So on that subject, I think we need to change the track layout up here a little. Oh, I had a terribly complicated plan in my head, didn't I? Let's see if I can remember it. So what we want is for... I think one of the problems we had before was that incoming minecarts would come up here, run along here, crash into the minecart that was already here, which would then go round the corner and down the ramp again, and thus get in the way. Because I think the track stop here just stops incoming minecarts and doesn't stop ones that are already on it, because obviously a minecart has to be able to leave a track stop. So I think we actually want to separate the incoming and outgoing minecarts. I think ideally what we want to do is, and what that will mean is that the dwarves will actually have to pick up a minecart, carry it to the start point and then set off in it. And I think this will work a lot better than what we currently have. So my plan is that the minecarts will go in a loop around here, and there will be dwarves will be able to come in on this level over the top of the track and then descend into the middle of it, collect one of many minecarts, take it over this track here and place it, and then descend on the other side of that track to launch it from the from that bit of track, from that new start point. So slightly helter-skeltery, certainly. So I think that means I want to remove most of the furnishings currently in this area, most of the constructions currently in this area, and build new ones. That ramp might be able to stay, but I'm not sure. Let's remove everything for now. So all of the willow floor that we built for the old swimming pool. And then I think I want to build... I mean, we probably want to floor over all of this space, but in order not to make everything inaccessible immediately, let's initially just put in one square of floor there. Unfortunately, this means my miners are the ones doing almost all of the work at the moment. Because they also have to do all the removals. I'm going to prioritise blocks at both of these. Have I now? Well, that's nice. And pink tourmaline. But you will observe I have not struck water. It will be quite exciting when we penetrate that staircase, though. Observe how I don't keep having to redesignate things down here. The booze situation is slightly less of a mess than it was. We still have a shortage of billen, and yes, there's one of the problems is that people aren't bringing rock to this stockpile fast enough, though there is at least a convenient supply of gypsum over there that they can move. So what's going on with the billen production then? We do, I think, yes, we do have a make billen bars task that is operational. And this one is desperately trying to make more jugs to put honey in, but possibly not quite fast enough. I wonder what the inaccessible item is. Oh, okay, is possibly trying to retrieve things from under the water here? Yeah, that's all going to be inaccessible. We'll fix that in a bit by letting the water out. Let's just join these two up. It's the fact that we're running at a rather lower frame rate than we used to be makes me suspect that I really should turn down the population cap to 100 again. Though obviously it will take a little while. We got some blocks yet? Apparently so. Ooh, nice. I mean, we've got adequate tetrahedrite anyway. Oh, right. I have 3 miners, it looks like, and that's not quite the right number for a 2-wide corridor. Maybe actually I should thus get all 3 miners working by deciding which side is going to be the ditch and marking that for channeling. I don't think it really matters. Actually, no, let's do that at a slightly lower priority than the actual tunnelling, I think. Although actually we could just do that, couldn't we? There we go. Oh, we've actually got someone up to Swordmaster level. Excellent. Oh. I'm suspicious if we found somewhere damp. We shouldn't be finding damp down here. Well, we'll dig through it, but maybe we need to go deeper still. It doesn't look like we should. That's all siltstone. No, actually, let's mark that as high priority. I want to know what's through that wall. Oh dear, more conglomerate, right. Time to go deeper. Don't like layers of conglomerate. So if there's conglomerate here, we want to go 2 levels below the conglomerate. We're going to need a lot of pumps. We're going to need more windmills. I may not need to mine deep in order to find minerals, but I need to mine deep in order to find dryness. Oh, we haven't seen any chert before this game. Right, okay. Actually, let's do a single width corridor and just see what we find over here. What does the Duke want me to make? 2 picks and a bin. Okay. Can I make copper picks? Yes. Bet I haven't got that many blocks yet. No, I've only got 4. My technique here, oh no, I think that is getting the right number of blocks required. Right, so up here we've now removed much of the stuff. So now I want to make a downward staircase there. So we'll make it out of bricks, since of course I've allocated all of the blocks, stone face. And then I think my idea, that's a microclimb block floor. We probably want to remove that as well, don't we? Unless we can carve tracks in it. Why is that not doing anything? That's all shale. Surely we can... Okay. Okay, I think I can't go that way because there's a block floor there, so I need to remove that floor. Then I think my plan involves an upward staircase here. Ah, but I'm almost certainly out of blocks now, aren't I? Yes. Let's wait until we've made some more blocks. Right, we now have plenty of coffins. Let's stick the coffins in the necropolis. We don't need anything like that number of coffins, but still. I'm sure they'll come in useful eventually. Right. Yes, here we are arranging the blocks in the sense of getting them to happen. Yep, we've got water leaking in here. Definitely still some aquifer at that level. Are all my miners off boozing? No, all my miners are off watching a surgery demonstration. Ugh. Right, so I think that's a track properly carved now. With a random crossing there because we carved a track on top of another track. Is that right? Is that where I want it? Surely I don't want it there actually, I want it up here. Because we can totally, since we're just sending them round in a loop, we can totally extend the track up there and across there and down there. Maybe I should smooth this floor and then recarve it a little more carefully. Go on then, this is a bit faffy, but if we smooth it then we can kind of see what's going on. We've made some blocks now, I think, so let's make, but then I want the stairway up to be there. Yes, that makes sense. I mean, you probably don't need two upward stairways there, but still. Let's also put some floor across here. Oh, someone's coming to do some mining at least. So let's see what we find on this layer when we cross the biome boundary. Well, the bin that that whoever it was insisted on is at least a masterpiece bin. I still need to remove that microcline block floor there. I've asked for that, haven't I? Let's make that a high priority because I can't do much with that not done. May, of course, now have distracted them. So that's siltstone, that's fine. Oh, problematic goblins. I mean, probably not actually a problem because we do tend to spot them quite fast. Are they still coming in? Are we going to have to send the military after them? Are they going to realise they've been spotted? They still seem to be coming despite it being obvious they've been spotted. Okay. We don't generally have to kill the thieves. We can see the goblins here, these 3 grey Gs. And quite sensibly they have decided that maybe this is not where they want to be. These 2 of them have. Where's the 3rd one got to? One there, one there. Oh, one fleeing southwards, okay. Please, Swordmaster, don't fall in the river. What exactly are you doing? You appear to be in open space. Oh, you're not a Swordmaster. Professional axe dwarf. I'm a little worried by your current situation. Well, you managed not to fall in the river. Well done. Where are all the goblins, I wonder? Yeah, this goblin mostly appears to be uneasy. And is somewhere up here, apparently. It's often hard to see them because they often seem to end up... Oh yes, there's one. In the sea, or in the foam on the edge of the sea. Oh look, you've been chased into a big crowd of dwarves. What a pity. Oh dear, what a pity, never mind. Yeah, right, that was fairly fatal. Oh good, another loose goblin head we can stick on a pedestal. I think the other goblins have so far not been attacked, but they are no longer on the map. So I think the other 2 have fled, which is fine. Let them take away the tales of how easy it is to get murdered if you come here. Like the entire military is in this one square. Well, maybe not quite, but actually let's just use the markers unforbidden button. Most of their corpse can safely be hurled into the rubbish. Somewhere around here there's going to be a loose goblin head. There's a neck. Well, that's no good, even if it is attached to a head. No, that can be binned as well. As far as I know, sticking the goblin heads on pedestals doesn't discourage anyone, but like, just in case it does. No, he's not. He's standing up repeatedly. I'm pretty sure of that, yes. Because they got themselves into an enormous pile. So we have struck some hematite down here, which is fine. Hematite doesn't leak water. I should see if I can turn off the message about people standing up. Stand up, right, if we turn off report brackets active for stand up, then maybe we won't get so many messages about people standing up. So that might be the last one. I'm quite happy for you to talk about having intellectual discussions, but damn it, still getting damp stone. Let's just check what's behind the damp stone, except this has been assigned to a dwarf who's somewhere 15 miles away. At this rate, we're going to end up draining everything into the caverns anyway. Bet we haven't got enough blocks for that. No, almost. Anyway, we're trying to build this section as well. There's still a microcline block. Oh, because it's not actually a microcline block floor. It's the top of that pillar, and obviously you can't remove the top of the pillar. Right, but we also can't carve it, so we have to actually construct a track there, I think. Right, that makes sense. So if we go like that, that will build that bit of track. No, actually, let's build it one square longer and then undesignate it. So then I can say, but actually don't build it into that square, but it will still be built east-west there. Similarly, that one probably doesn't need to be built because it already exists. And so now that will build one square of track there, but properly connected. So then I hope I can go designate carving track. Okay, maybe I can't Maybe I do need to do something slightly cleverer. And then I think we want a wall there for things to run into. It looks like maybe that corner is slightly fiddly to designate. And obviously that does actually need to be a corner so that the minecarts will go round it properly. That will now actually all connect up at least. Slightly more expensive than I might have hoped, but blocks are fairly cheap. Oh dear. Not sure I can do much to cheer up children. Let's, not that we really need to, designate tombs over the rest of those coffins. Multi-mode, yes. Right, so that layer of stuff is mostly getting sorted. We had a reasonable number of blocks still lying around, didn't we? Let's try building about that much and seeing what happens. That's the wrong number. Oh, we'll leave it for now. Still preparing meals. Oh dear, we got some rotting going on down there. Let's fix that. I mean, it's clearly not much point in preparing meals if they're just going to rot in the kitchen. So I think I should suspend or do something with the is preparing a meal even in here? Yes, it is there. It's currently set up to prepare a lavish meal if we have any ingredients to prepare the meal from. Can I conveniently just say, like, what I want to do is just suspend the entire thing, but without having to actually cancel it. But oh yes, I know how I do that. I just suspend the job here, and then it gets stuck, because we've seen that happen. That was why we weren't cleaning any fish. Also, if you set it to make 0 meals, it makes infinity meals. Doesn't help, really. Right, so the track here is now a nice loop. So the idea is that incoming minecarts come up here, round here, and end up going clonk into that wall and stopping. Someone's left a load of logs on the track, but bizarrely that won't actually be a problem. And then when someone wants to ride a minecart, they come up these stairs, over this bridge, down here, pick up a minecart from somewhere on this track, which they can do without stepping onto the track. And then because the track is marked as try not to walk through here, they should then go back up these stairs, over this bridge, and down these stairs, and then launch the minecart from down there. That's the theory anyway. Once we finish building everything. Like once there aren't people wandering over the minecart track building more minecart tracks. So I think we may be a bit limited by the sheer quantity of blocks we need to build. Oh dear, is that miasma coming from something out here, do you think? Probably not actually, because that's all stockpiles. Things shouldn't rot in stockpiles. So our continuing efforts at finding some dry stone. We've still got damp conglomerate down here, right? 2 more levels down. Let's go down here and like just probe sideways at each level, I think. Or rather every other level. Oh, there's a dead goblin here. Right, dispose of the dead goblin. Apparently one of the other goblins managed to get themselves caught. Was that a damp stone? I think that was the message from... Yes, that was the message from finding that bit of damp stone there. Let's try to stop too much water leaking in here. Actually, no, let's not bother marking it for smoothing. Let's go for the simpler approach of just building a wall across the corridor. Right. Right, so I think the minecart departure and arrival system is now actually set up. We just don't have enough tracks for the entire expansion yet. But we could try just sending a minecart around it, some minecarts around it, and seeing what they do. I think that would be interesting. They probably won't run too many people over. So all of the minecarts are currently at the departure point. So if we just add a condition that allows them to leave. Guide west immediately, always. No. Push off. Don't actually try to ride the minecart yet. Let's just do that for the first one for now and see if that works. We do actually have a minecart assigned to that, don't we? No. Yes. Pearwood minecart. All of these minecarts, oh yes, it's there and it's marked as full. All the minecarts are mysteriously full of water. We might want to work out a system for draining them. Oh, well that's not going to cheer him up. He's gone and got himself run down by a minecart. I mean, in part because he was stumbling obliviously, so this might actually be good for him, but... Right, and there's that minecart which has arrived back up here. Pinkbee says, well, it might stop him being unhappy if he gets run down hard enough. Yes, but that will unhappify his family, I think. Or her family, I should check. His family. Right, he does have quite a lot of family in the fortress. Anyway, I should turn off that departure condition again. At least until the child has been removed from the railway tracks. Right, the child has been removed. There is someone else hanging around on the railway tracks. Right, child has been delivered to the hospital. Right, there is no one hanging around on the railway tracks. This is the advantage of flooding the railway. Right, and here we find someone hauling the minecart back to its departure position. So that, but they did it by the wrong route. Right, what's going on with the... that is all set as a low traffic area, but some places that shouldn't be low traffic are. How does this work then? Because the centre used to be part of the track and now isn't, but it's still designated as a... So how do I select one of these options then, hey? So this all seems to be set to designating high traffic area, but each time I click I don't seem... Oh, there, that's the fiddling with what the numbers are. This is how you decide what the level is. And only I seem to have accidentally designated that random patch there as high traffic. So, okay, except... Ah, there we go, right. Finally got the user interface to behave in a vaguely plausible way. So we want to designate that area as normal traffic. And that should encourage going over the bridge surely that should be set to like 10 or something. That will encourage going over the bridge rather than crossing the railway. Right. But other than that, that appeared to work. Let's try launching another minecart because no one seems to be standing on... Oh, there is someone fairly near the railway. What are you doing? Oh, you're collecting stuff. Well, we'll let you get out the way. And then we'll try launching the minecart again. Well, launching a minecart. Which minecart is that anyway? Can we tell? Not easy. Oh, we press the assign minecart. It's the pearwood minecart, right? Just watch the pearwood minecart then. Is sadly now splattered with blood. Well, it'll get washed soon. So all being well, someone will come along in a moment and push it. Well, we're trying to abolish level crossings by flooding them. But I want to do some tests before we flood it, really, if possible. Someone actually coming to push this minecart. You don't need to watch bone setting demonstrations. Yes, someone is. We've got like some actual bones that need setting. Well, they've probably been set by now, to be fair. Whee! And it parks itself in the correct position. So then someone, we hope, will come along, move it to the launch position again, preferably without treading on the railway tracks. Okay, someone who doesn't have any legs, which is going to make this a bit slow. No, has one leg rather, and hasn't got a crutch. But notice they're going safely over the footbridge. And putting the minecart back where it belongs. Right, that works. Let's turn that off again now. Unless we want to test it with all 3 minecarts, but I don't think I do yet. Right. Oh dear, I think we're getting more rotting going on down there. Aha! Chalk. Can chalk support an aquifer? I mean, like, obviously it should be able to, but let me have a quick look. Dwarf Fortress Wiki, aquifer. Layers which can contain aquifer does not appear to include chalk. No, right, good. Okay, let's try digging eastwards from here and seeing if it stays chalk or if we end up in something else again. Also chalk. Ooh, isn't that a flux stone? That would be nice. And both of my stoneworkers' workshops are basically just making blocks now. Duke wants more stuff made. You want another pick, do you? Okay. Our brewing seems to be going quite well. What have we brewed? So we've got some potato wine and some turnip wine and some wine and some cranberry wine and some prickleberry wine. We are mostly brewing the fruit we bought. Okay. So I think the station part of this, well, wine made from grapes, which is just referred to as wine. Yes, yes. Well, when we can actually get fruit, we can brew booze quite quickly. God damn it! More damp stone. What have you found now? Let's penetrate it and see what there is behind it. And then probably put a wall in again. Surely the aquifers must end eventually. Yes, it is fairly close to bedtime. Let me see if I can work out where I can tie a knot in this. So we're going to need to build quite a lot more tracks here if we're going to get people spending a decent amount of time on the mine carts, aren't we?
Is this up to soften or something?
Yes. I don't know quite how far west we want to go, but like possibly we try to do all of it, but that is going to require an awful lot of rock. But we've got plenty of rock, we just have to blockify it, as it were. Especially given how deep I seem to be having to go here. Okay, the fact that we're finding that that shale was damp, but all we found behind it was more shale, more damp shale, makes me think that maybe this is the last aquifer layer, i.e. the one above that damp shale, and maybe if we go another floor down, let's just wall that back in again. Maybe if we go down here, curse is we've got a different miner assigned to it. Yes, yes, eventually it'll be damp with magma instead. Let's actually cancel the digging designation down here. I don't want to go deeper than I have to. Wonder if it's worth trying to only assign really good stone cutters to this job, because like a dabbling stone cutter is not a good plan for that. If I go to labours, I think we want, yeah, let's just get my only the people who have like some skill in stone cutting assigned to stone cutting. That might make making the blocks faster. Those two somehow got suspended. Right. Seem to be getting a lot of messages. I think there may be some more animals we need to geld. If it's possible, geld it, as it were. I mean, admittedly, I don't mind so much about cats, but we are getting too many animals. Not even as if we could reasonably slaughter them because we have too much food as well. Let's leave the youngest kitten ungelded just in case we want, because we do want some cats to keep vermin at bay. Right, that was a lot of animals marked for gelding. Someone is going to end up in lots of fights. So I think those walls have stopped any leakage on the higher levels. That's nice. Now, is someone going to come down here and do this digging for me? Why are you making rock blocks? I thought I'd set stone cutters to be like only people who are actually any good at it. You're at least an adequate stone cutter, so you'll probably be okay. Right. We have cut. Let's keep going. I don't trust this yet. Where do I want to get to? I want to get to there. Let's keep digging east. But so far we haven't found any water on this level. But I'm a bit worried because maybe that jet is keeping the water out somehow. So I'd like to find some layer stone over here to convince myself that there isn't an aquifer down here. Sadly, I found 2 iron ores and jet, which comes in clusters. So I don't strictly know that the layer stone down there isn't aquifer bearing. Try going a bit further. Damn it, that's got assigned to a different miner now. Yes, how is our unhappy child? No longer the least happy person. Unconscious, which probably limits their ability to do anything dangerous. gradually getting sorted out. Still having problems with collecting hive products. We've probably got a decent number of rock blocks now, haven't we? Let's extend the tracks a bit more. Okay, yes, now that we've got the block production being done by people who know how to do it, I think it's going a bit quicker. There's our miner. I mean, I think if we can't accidentally find the aquifer by going down here, then I'd go, we found shale, which is a layer stone. Right, I'm reasonably confident we're safe. Okay, we've found the bottom of the aquifers. Not going to do it now, but that's where we build the new drainage system, way down below the old drainage system. It's going to need quite a lot of windmills to haul all that water up, all that up rather. But that will be sorted out. So things are progressing. I think the station here is now right. Like, minecarts can come in here and loop all the way around. We could have quite a lot of minecarts stocked up. And it doesn't seem like it's going to cause any trouble. We've got a lot of tracks to build. But we are working on it. And in particular, we're reasonably efficiently making rock blocks now. And we are now in a position to build the new drains to make up for the old drains. And yes, then where are you going? Then we should be able to drain things a little more safely than we have heretofore been able to. I think we're short of plaster. Do we not have a job for making plaster? Maybe we don't. Right, well, let's set one of those going. Right, so I noticed he was getting a splint rather than plaster cast. Oh yes, let's have a quick look at the unhappiest dwarf. See what's going on there. Ushra Muthkat Knockgol. Like, you're watching a diagnostics demonstration. How can that be unhappy? Like, your history doesn't seem too bad. I don't know. Right, okay, that will probably be it then, and we will see you on Sunday when I hope we can decide where to stop building the railway tracks and start training dwarves in swimming again. And until then, good night.